What's up? Matthew Anthony Hawkins here. It's a Wednesday. How's your week going? Right off the top, let me tell you, I am a 36-year-old man and I collect comic book collectibles. Not just that, I mean like vintage action figures, modern action figures, comic books, video games, you name it. I love the stuff that I had when I was a kid. So much so that I am trying to collect it all back. When I was a kid, I was kind of stupid. You know, I sold off some of my action figures, I got rid of my games. You stop playing them for years and years. And then, you know, 15, 20 years later, you're like, I wish I still had that. About 15 years ago, I started to get back into action figures and comic books and started collecting a little bit. And then I took on a job. I was working at a church. I was a youth pastor at one point in time. I worked in the church. That's just part of where I've come from. But when I worked at this church, it was a more conservative, not necessarily traditional, but conservative in terms of who made up the church. And I brought in a whole bunch of my action figures and comic book stuff and set it all up in my office. I thought, sweet, I've got my own office, I got my own space, I can make it look and feel the way I want to. Do you think they like that? No. No.
You're a man, you're starting your career. You can't collect this stuff. What are you doing? This doesn't represent our sacred space.
It was an office. It was a silly office. It was great. I'm a youth pastor. Why not have this stuff? And like, right when youth would walk in my office, they'd be like, sweet, this guy's cool. Or maybe this guy's a nerd, but whatever. He's got action figures, he's got toys in his office. People didn't like that. And so after a couple years of dealing with that, I put it all to the side. I just said, you know what, maybe I do. Maybe I need to grow up. Maybe I need to be this person that the leadership expects me to be. And so I did. For a few years I did that. I always felt like there was a part of me that was missing, that I wasn't getting to be exactly who I am, what I enjoy. And so I started to get back into it. So I got a number of things that I love to collect. Batman is probably the biggest thing that I love collecting. I've got a whole bunch of different Batman collectibles. A few of them that I would say are my favorite would be not necessarily action figures, but probably more statues. The Alex Ross Batman statue. Alex Ross, he depicts superheroes in a very realistic, lifelike way. You'll probably recognize this statue from Big Bang Theory. At least that's the first place I ever saw it. I remember seeing it and thinking right away, wow, I want to own that statue. I remember seeing years ago what I thought was a statue. I would see a few images of it online, and it depicts Batman kind of just like ready to rage. It's intense and it looked like a statue. And I remember a friend of mine, he went to go visit San Diego Comic-Con, and I said, hey, if you see this statue there, you gotta let me know. I really want to buy it. And it wasn't until after that, when he had no success and nobody knew what he was talking about, that I kept digging further and found out it was just a 3D rendering. It was just a drawing. September of 2016, DC Comics released this awesome statue, and I couldn't, Toy Traders is my go-to place for buying this stuff. Toy Traders in Langley. If you've never been to Toy Traders in Langley, it's about 45 minutes, half an hour outside of Vancouver, British Columbia. It is the best place to go for all things toys, comic books, collectibles, you name it. So anyways, two other Batman ones that I really like too. One I picked up in New Orleans. It's this wooden collectible Batman with interchangeable faces. My favorite one, I think, is the one that has got kind of band-aids on his face. And then a recent statue that I got from my good friend Jason. He got this for me for Christmas. It's from the black and white Batman series. Batman was something that I always kind of liked. I was more of a Superman kid growing up. And then I got smart and realized that Batman's way cooler than Superman, and started collecting comic books and graphic novels and action figures, statues. And so Batman wasn't something part of my childhood, but you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles definitely was. So Donatello, he sits up on my desk. I always liked Donatello. Smart, tech guy, total nerd. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? So I've got Trinity and Neo when they're doing the wall thing. But Morpheus, I also have Morpheus sitting in his chair with the phone next to him. And he sits right up there. You can't see it, it's out of the shot, but he sits above my desk, kind of overlooking me while I work. And he's always one that I've loved. I never wanted to keep him in the package. I wanted him out and viewing me and what I'm doing. It's kind of weird, but whatever. One of the things that Matthew from Toy Traders told me that I thought was awesome advice when you're looking into collecting. Don't get into collecting just because you're looking for something with a good resale value. He basically said, you know, you get lots of people coming in, they want to buy something for $100 and hope one day it's worth $1,000 or $10,000 and sell it. He said, collect because you love it. And that's what I do. I don't necessarily collect stuff that I think is going to be worth something one day. I collect it because I love it right now. I love having it in my office and on display for people. I love the stories that I can tell behind them. So what do you collect? Why do you collect it? Please, feel free to leave a comment, like it, and share it, and subscribe. All right, folks, my name's Matthew Anthony Hawkins. It's a Wednesday. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next time.